Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia, and we are talking about episode 10, Double Date, aired April 28th, 1998. And
And the synopsis is, I say it because she can't say it.
Yeah. A double date finds Jen and Cliff joined by Dawson and a classmate named Mary Beth at Cape Side's annual carnival, which is revealed to be a plot to make Jen jealous, while Mary Beth asks Dawson to help her out by trying to make Cliff jealous as well. Meanwhile, Pacey and Joey grow closer as they work on a school biology project in which a comedy of errors leave them stranded on a lake. When Dawson later finds out of their misadventure, it's his turn to become jealous. Mitch and Gail's marriage continues to become strained over him becoming more distrustful of her.
Wow.
Dawson is talking to Joey, panicking because Jen hasn't made an effort to spend time with him since they broke up 2 weeks ago. Joey reminds him that she broke up with him and tells him to prepare for life after her.
What is she, like, dead? Prepare for life after her.
Like for the possibility that Jen will be dating other guys and her asking him if they can be friends. Dawson thinks about this and asks Joey, how can you assume to be friends with someone when every time you look at them, all you think about is how much you want more?
Well, that's what she does when she looks at it. Dawson.
Yep. Yeah, so Joey answers she's no expert on that.
Quote, because she's an expert on Dawson.
Yep. But she thinks it can be done.
Yeah, because she does it every waking minute of her life.
Mm-hmm. Then we go to the theme song, and then afterward we see Gail and Mitch in the kitchen where the phone rings. Mitch answers it, but it turns out to be for Gail, and Mitch figures out it was actually Bob.
Okay, so here's the thing with this. First of all, Bob has some nerve to call again at the house.
Yep.
Like, I'm sure he knows that things are not going so pretty at home. I mean, I'm sure she said that. So why is he calling? And yeah, she said it's work, but I feel like, and yes, anyone who, is from the 90s who was working, whatever, can let us know. But I feel like because her job is important, like she has to go anywhere if there's a hurricane or something, that they need to call her and be like, we need you to go here right now. Something's happening, because she's a reporter. So because of that, because it's important, I would think she'd have like a work cell phone at least where Bob can call since it's work related. Because think about it. If she's not home, they won't be able to tell her where to go until she gets home. So you need to be able to call them right now and answer. So I would think she'd have a work cell phone. And that's where Bob should be calling from.
Yep.
But again, at home, come on now. Like, we just went through this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he has every right to be upset.
Me too.
I mean, because didn't she say anytime she was with Bob, it was just work related. Just work related when really she was having the affair. So yes, when she says, when he like looks at her and says something, it's like, he has every right to say that. Because who knows? It might not be work related. You might still be having your affair. We don't know.
Yeah, so after Gail explained that it was a work call, Mitch was still furious that Bob had the nerve to call her at all.
Mm-hmm.
So at school, Jen finds Dawson in the hallway and ends up asking Dawson if it's possible that they can be friends.
Oh my God, here we go.
Yep, Joey
There's
was
a lot
right.
of like friends questions.
Mm-hmm.
Are we friends? Are we not? And do you think that they can be friends?
Not right now, no.
No, they just broke up.
Mm-hmm. Fast forward to a few minutes later in science class, Dawson is discussing this with Pacey. Dawson didn't end up answering her question, but Pacey says that Dawson has no intention of being friends with her because he still has feelings for her. He also says that he needs to let Jen know he's completely cool with being friends because if he acts like she's not special to him anymore, she'll crave that feeling again. The class got their midterm grades back, and the teacher ends up calling students to stay after class to speak with him, meaning the kids who didn't pass, and the only name he called was Pacey's.
All right, that was my thing, was why did the teacher call out Pacey? I mean, if it's only one student or two students,
yeah,
you pull them off when they're, walking out of the classroom and say, hey, I need to talk to you for a second.
Yeah.
You don't just announce it to the whole class. Yes, I need to see the following students. Pacey. Oh, that's it. Yeah. It's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Who does that?
Yeah, he could have left a note on the test too to see him after school.
Right. Class. I need to talk to you. Or like I said, just pull them off and say, hey, come here a second.
Yep.
Nobody's going to know anything that he's in trouble or anything, or that his grades are bad, unless you out it like the teacher did. I mean, that teacher must hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, didn't Mary Beth walk up before the teacher came over to Pacey or whatever?
Yeah, I just skipped
And
that because
I thought it was cute because when she was talking or whatever, Pacey just was like smiling. I think he was like, huh, maybe those two.
Oh, okay.
I think he probably was already thinking it.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't get why she just walked up like that randomly. So,
Well, because we have to see where who she is.
yeah.
And again, probably because Pacey was like smiling, like, oh, maybe those two should go on a date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the teacher says he can do an extra credit project to get his grade up, and he has to do it with a partner. And that partner ends up being Joey, and they're both not happy about this, of course.
And why is it depending on her grade?
Right.
Like, if his is extra credit, wouldn't hers be?
Yeah, I was a little confused about that. So,
like, it's all about your grade. No, especially when she's the smart one.
mm-hmm.
No, it should just all be extra credit.
Yeah. In the hall, Jen and Dawson talk where Dawson tells her that he does want to be friends with her, and they end up making a double date because it was Dawson's idea after hearing Jen was going to the carnival with Cliff, except that Dawson doesn't have a date.
Of course.
Yeah. So in the cafeteria, Pacey and Dawson talk about it. Pacey points out him to take Mary Beth. Dawson goes to sit at the table she's at and asks her out, but she brings up the fact that he just got out of a relationship with Jen and asks if he was ready to go out. He said he was, though that was a lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he likes to lie.
Mm-hmm. In the lab, Pacey and Joey have to observe the reproductive process of snails.
Well, and then she says marine biology. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, did you take marine biology
No.
in high school?
No.
No, ours was just regular biology.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they really did have that in regular schools back in the 90s.
Maybe.
Because they certainly didn't have it when we went to school.
Yeah.
Would you have taken marine biology?
Probably, yeah. Seems interesting.
Yeah. Better than regular?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so of course, Pacey is greatly bored, and Joey points out that if Pacey doesn't take this project seriously, he'll end up in summer school.
Well, and then didn't he like call them like losers or something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Someone who's failing, you're gonna say that?
Mm-hmm. At Dawson's, his dad asked him if anyone had called the house that he should know about, meaning if Bob called for Gail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, only Bob. He should have just said, did Bob call?
Yeah. Dawson realizes this when his dad doesn't go right out and say Bob, so he tells his dad no, he hasn't called. The next morning, Pacey and Joey are back in the lab where their snails are dead. Uh-oh. The shells are completely empty. Pacey ends up telling Joey that when he was watching the snails last night, to make things speed up, he added a snail he found in the windowsill to the tank. Joey tells him that the snail was a meat eater, which explains why their snails are now dead. Pacey says he'll do anything to make it up to her.
Well, it was funny too because he was like, if I actually listened to what you said.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
Yeah. So at Joey's, Dawson talks about his date with Mary Beth, and Joey says that what he's doing is wrong, and he's just using her to get to Jen.
Do you agree? I mean, should he be using Mary Beth?
No, not at all.
I know I did not like that at all.
Mm-hmm. He promises to not make a habit out of it, and Joey says good because he's one of the good ones. Not at this very moment.
Yeah, but I was just so happy that she called him out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just wrong. You
Yeah.
don't just use someone like that just to get back at your ex all because you don't have a date.
Mm-hmm. And then, flipping things again, Dawson ends up saying that he wishes he was taking Joey to the carnival, and she wishes the same. Mm-hmm.
And then Pacey
pulls
up in a car. So is he? How old is he?
Well, Jen said she was 16 not that long ago, so I'm thinking now that they're all 16 at this point. I don't know.
They don't explain anything, do they?
Yeah, they're not good with time here.
No, because, okay, so he's driving, so he's 16?
I guess.
And 2 episodes ago, he was trying to catch a ride from Billy?
Yep.
Because he didn't have a car, and now all of a sudden he's got a car?
I guess.
And it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
The show. At least be consistent if you're going to write it.
Right. Yeah, so Pacey shows up to pick up Joey so they can find new snails for their project. Dawson now meets up with Mary Beth at the carnival. After greeting each other, Cliff and Jen come walking up. Dawson introduces Mary Beth to Cliff and Jen, and right away, Mary Beth asks to speak with Dawson alone.
So Cliff really likes Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had the whole thing at the dance with Dawson, and then he finds out that Dawson and Jen are together, and you would think that'd be like the end of it. But now he's back again. It's like, man, Cliff just has never given up. He must really like her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Mary Beth tells Dawson that taking his ex on a double date is a lousy idea, especially when he failed to inform his companion of the evening. She believes Dawson is still hung up on Jen, and she lets him know she's not usually wrong about these things.
She is correct.
Mm-hmm. Dawson says until now and gives her the truth, which we will find out in a minute because back with Pacey and Joey, they are in a boat on a lake to look for snails. While Pacey is rowing, he asks Joey about her grade and what it was on her midterm to make her end up needing to do the extra credit project. She makes up the excuse that they don't have time to talk right now. And then back at the carnival, Dawson's truth ends up being a lie when he tells Mary Beth that he's on this double date for Jen because she feels pressure being on a date with Cliff. Mary Beth thinks what he's doing is very sweet. She goes on to say that she can imagine a guy trying to sabotage the date of his ex. She asks what they should do now. He looks around to see until he spots Jen and Cliff playing games, so they head over there.
So, if you were in Mary Beth's shoes, wouldn't you leave if you just found out that basically you're being used?
Yeah. Well, she believes his lie, though, so at first she
Yeah,
was, but
but he basically told her.
yeah. Back at the swamp, or lake, not sure exactly what that is.
It looked swampy.
Yeah. Pacey and Joey are looking in the grass for snails, and Joey puts
Who
them in a
is?
jar.
Who's looking for snails?
Well, I guess Joey, mainly, yeah.
Pacey. Okay, it's Pacey's project,
Mm-hmm.
and Joey's looking for snails.
Yeah.
Pacey's just standing there.
Yeah, and it was his fault that they have to get any snails in the
I know,
first place.
his fault, his project,
Mm-hmm.
and she's doing all the work.
Yep.
No wonder why he's failing. Also, she's probably picking him up because he doesn't know which ones to give.
Yeah, that's true too.
But maybe that's a good learning time
Mm-hmm.
to learn which kind of snails they are.
Yeah. Now that's just funny. She looks over to see their boat floating away.
Pacey.
She asks Pacey, "Please tell me that you tied up our boat and the one that's floating downstream isn't ours."
He looks, it's not ours.
Yeah. He responds with what she wanted to hear, being, "I tied up our boat, so the one that's floating downstream isn't ours."
So cute.
Mm-hmm. At the carnival again, the guys are playing milk bottle and Cliff wins.
Of course, because he has a good arm.
Yeah, and they're competing to see who can get their prize first.
I'm surprised the girls didn't just walk away.
Right.
Because that'd be annoying.
Yeah. So after Cliff wins, Jen has him choose a prize. He picks a lion plushie. Dawson wants to play against Cliff again, and they do. And Dawson wins this time only because Cliff lets him. Did you see that?
Well, I'm sure if Dawson's winning, it's because someone else is letting him. It's like that game that when they were playing basketball with Pacey, and then they had to stop whatever because Abby was like, "Oh, time to go," and then Dawson cheated, and it was like, yeah, you only won because of someone else.
Right. When the carnival worker gives Dawson his prize, Dawson first looks to Jen to give it to her before glancing back at Mary Beth.
And then he still looked at Jen. It's like, oh my God, idiot.
Yep.
Give it to your date.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he looks at Jen again before looking back at Mary Beth and says they need to talk.
I'd be like, bye. I'd first snatch it and then be like, bye, and throw it in the trash.
Yeah. So with Pacey and Joey, they're having to walk through the lake to get back to the car.
She's complaining.
It's since I guess it's not too deep for that, but since they lost their boat, did I say that already?
Well, I just want to know, would you walk through there?
No.
You would be like, Pacey, just pick me up. You walk through there in the swampiness and just pick me up.
Yeah, because it's not super deep, but since I'm so short, it would go over my head most definitely. So
also, you don't want to get wet. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But so while walking, Joey loses her stepping and almost goes completely under, but Pacey helps her back up.
So cute.
Mm-hmm. And they do their usual banter. When Joey complained of how cold she was, Pacey said she'll survive. And it's a prediction he makes with all due regret at this point, with her following it up with her saying, "Speaking of survival, I thought creatures of your brain level went extinct a few years back." He says, "It's amazing personality like yours, you still can't get any dates." And then she says, "Even more amazing, a personality like yours can." Yeah. We go to his truck to dry off. He gives her a blanket to wrap up in.
Well, and then he says, "No peeking."
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he peeks.
Yeah. And so at first she refuses, and when she asks if he expects her to get naked, he says if she wants to get sick, go right ahead. They each change on opposite sides of the truck at the back. He gets done first and goes to start the truck, but ends up watching Joey change from the mirror of the truck, which is kind of creepy. But somehow, for some reason, in this moment of all moments, he realizes he may not just dislike Joey as much as he did before. He actually might start liking her, like really liking her. When she gets to the truck, he's smiling at her. I thought that was funny. Like he's just staring at her, just smiling,
Well, of course he is. He
not
just
saying
saw her
anything.
naked.
Yeah. She asks why he's staring, and he says she's not half bad to be around. She can be even borderline fun.
Well, then she smiled at him. And, oh, they're just so cute.
Yeah. Back at the carnival, Mary Beth and Dawson are in the parking lot where Dawson confesses he came here to get Jen back. Mary Beth says that he doesn't need to worry about hurting her feelings because she doesn't have a crush on him. Dawson asks why she came as his date then. Mary Beth said that she felt sorry for him. It turns out she actually has a crush on Cliff, but he's into Jen and she's into him. Dawson is disappointed in hearing this, of course, but Mary Beth says that they can help each other out.
Why is he disappointed? He's using her. So if she's using him back, who cares?
No, he's disappointed that Jen likes Cliff when Mary Beth tells him.
Really? He didn't know that?
I guess not.
She liked him since he entered the screen.
Mm-hmm. Later, after making a plan, they switch dates, so Mary Beth gets in the same seating of the Ferris wheel with Cliff while Dawson sits with Jen.
Okay, why would Jen allow that?
I don't know. She should have said something, but...
I mean, she's going with Cliff, so she must like Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't she want to go on the Ferris wheel with him instead of Dawson?
I don't know.
Especially when she has eyes. I mean, she's seeing what's going on, that he's using Mary Beth to get her. So why would she go on the Ferris wheel? Really? It doesn't make any sense.
I know. Now, Joey and Pacey are finally in some dry clothes, and Pacey bugs Joey about her midterm grade again. She finally admits she got a 98. She opens up to him about her life and how she wants to get a scholarship for college so she can get out of Cape Side. And Pacey is nice to her, saying that he's the one that's going to get stuck in their small town.
They have a circus around.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that's when we find out that Joey does sleep in the living room.
Yep.
Because she said she shares a bedroom, with the living room. And I'm like, all right, so it's true. So it's a 2-bedroom house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, interesting. Remember, because they didn't really explain that. It was just her dresser was in the baby's room.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
But now she explains it. So thank you, writers, for explaining something.
Yeah. Back in the Ferris wheel, the ride gets stuck with Jen and Dawson at the very top. Dawson asks how Jen's date is going, and she says she doesn't want to talk about it, and they shouldn't have gone on this double date together or be friends. He says she probably won't have time to be friends with him because of her busy dating schedule. He goes pointing out that when she broke up with him, he asked her why, and she said she needs to be alone. That there are too many men in her life. She said it's just a date, and she's not like playing their engagement party.
Do you think Dawson is trying too hard in the Ferris wheel? Well, the whole thing.
What do you mean trying too hard?
Trying to get her back?
Well, no, I think he just he wants to try to really get down to the reason why this is all happening with the double date and everything, and why she's going out, because he says that she told him that she had too many men in her life, and she needed to live life on her own. But
well, probably because she doesn't want to hurt him. She'd rather be friends with him, and so she doesn't want to hurt him. So she's like, that's why she said she had too many men. But really, she just wants to date other men.
Yeah. I mean, she could have been honest about that, though. Maybe just...
But she also knows Dawson, and his little feelings would get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're still hurt now that they're on this Ferris wheel together.
Yeah. That she shouldn't have agreed to go on, especially when she likes Cliff. And broke up with Dawson.
Right. Yeah, so he demands of her to tell him the truth.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to demand the truth. Just let it go. She doesn't like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that she wasn't just tired of men, she was tired of him. She says that's not true.
I mean, he is boring.
He says for her to look at him and tell him that he was wrong, that he misread the situation. Of course, she doesn't. He asks that she agreed to go on this double date because she needs him as much as he needs her. And she doesn't answer again, but by the look on her...
That was weird.
Yeah.
Like a weird question.
Yeah. But by the look on her face, he says, then don't tell him he was wrong. The right moves again in this moment,
So who do you think, do you want Dawson and Jen together, or do you want Dawson and Joey together? I mean, at this point, who do you want together? Or do you want him alone?
Yeah, I think he should be alone at this point because, Jen can't really make up her mind and just, is really just not telling him the truth and just, keeps stringing him along. And Joey just is keeping her feelings to herself, but I feel like,
Yeah, but she did kiss him when she was drunk.
yeah, but then he didn't believe that that was a real kiss, so Pacey had to tell him.
Yeah. And again, he still didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Dawson, I don't know. And then Dawson just still has like that
Is he like a
fantasy.
strange one for you that you can't like pinpoint who he should be with?
But I just think maybe it's not a character we've seen yet. Maybe.
Oh, so there you go, people. All the Dawson and Joey lovers.
No, I said a character we haven't seen yet.
I know, as in, go after Cynthia.
No.
No, I'm with you. I'm only with you on the not Dawson and Joey. Because in the episode, there was that one scene in the school where it was the two brunettes, Pacey and Joey. And then in the next scene, it was the blondes, Dawson and Jen. And I was like, that's the way that it should be. Because Pacey and Joey have baby faces and they just look cute together. And then you got the blondes who don't know what they want. Just be together.
Yeah. Later, Dawson's staying alone on a bench when Joey and Pacey walk up. Pacey says he needs to speak to Dawson in private. They make small talk until Pacey says,
Well, when they walk up, Joey and Pacey,
yeah.
They look so cute just laughing and talking. Or is it just me?
Yeah.
No, admit it.
No, I'm not paying attention to faces too much.
You gotta pay attention to their expression.
I do sometimes, but I'm trying to keep track of what's going on exactly.
So disappointing. That's all I'm looking at. That's why I don't know what they're saying half the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so you see their faces. I pay attention to the words because I'm seeing
I know. I think now I'm going to text you. Did you see that?
Yeah, so Pacey says he needs Dawson's permission for something. That something being that Pacey has started liking Joey as more than a friend and Pacey wants to make a move on her.
Okay. Why does he need permission?
I think just because they're friends and he doesn't want to surprise him if something does happen with her.
Okay, you can just say you like her without getting permission. So if Dawson says no, so you're not going to go after her? Why does he need permission?
I don't know.
It's not like Dawson has admitted he likes her. They haven't admitted yet that they like each other. So why does he need permission? Pacey does not need permission.
Maybe.
He does not need permission from Dawson. Dawson is not her authority or anything. He is just a friend. So, no.
Okay.
He's just being nice, but I don't think he needs it. They're not together. Yes, I know you can disagree. So what happened in the scene?
Yeah, once Dawson wraps his head around the fact, he does give Pacey permission, but as Pacey walks away, he takes it back.
Well, no. We gotta talk about what was said.
Go ahead, because I didn't write that down in detail.
Okay, Dawson literally said, and I have that written down, I don't care who she kisses. Lie. Let's move on. And then he said that she's my best friend, you're my best friend, and if it's you, so much the better. My two best friends kissing. He said okay to it. And then he changed his mind and said no. And then he thought about it and said yes. And then he said, you have my permission to kiss Joey. Like, what? All right, Dawson, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, but the look on his face as Pacey walks away is a different story.
I don't care. He gave permission.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Yep.
He gave permission. The permission Pacey, in my mind, did not need.
So Pacey drives Joey home and asks when they can do this again sometime. Joey doesn't notice his choice of words or tone, so she says that they have more work to do on the project, so they'll be spending a lot more time together.
I wish we got to see that.
Oh, yeah.
If they have more work to do, I want to see it.
Pacey says that's not what he was talking about, and she still doesn't get it, so he puts his hand on her waist and kisses her.
I'll just show you.
Yeah. She immediately pushes him away, confused. He confesses that he was that he was confused and surprised about how good of a time he was having with her. She says she was also confused and surprised, but not in the same way, in developing feelings for him. He handles the rejection well, but before she walks inside, he asks that if she had kissed him back, would she have thought of somebody else?
And then she doesn't say anything, but we all know the truth. She would have.
Do you notice that when someone doesn't want to answer a question, they just walk away? I've noticed that so many times.
Well, and it's so weird because like Joey is so bold.
Mm-hmm. And now she's speechless.
That now she's just not going to say anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so she walks back inside
She
her
could have
house.
just been like, I had a nice time with you as a friend.
Yeah. And nope.
But let's be honest, he didn't have to ask that question because we all know the answer.
Right.
She would have been thinking of Dawson.
Yeah, maybe he just wanted to see if she would tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we see Dawson walk downstairs while his parents are in the kitchen holding each other, looking like they made up.
Did that make any sense to you?
No.
All of a sudden, they're now hugging.
Right.
That was really weird because the whole time, the whole episode, he was all like paranoid. And what, just because Bob didn't call today, they're going to hug?
Yeah. Well, while they were in the kitchen, the phone was ringing and Mitch said, let it ring. So we don't know who was calling, but it could have been Bob.
I know, but they're just so back and forth.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Now we know where Dawson gets it from.
Oh, I can't. It's a good thing they had one kid. I just can't. And did you feel bad for Pacey when he got rejected from Joey?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Aw, that's so nice. Well, I don't know who you want Joey to be with, so I am just trying to see where you fit.
Well, I'm still new to the storyline and all the characters, so it'll be a while till I make up my decision.
Oh, so you didn't think the scenes with Pacey and Joey were cute?
They were, but I don't know about them being together yet. Especially because we don't know how Joey feels exactly.
Well, did you want to say what you thought about the moment Pacey liked her? Or thought he liked her?
Yeah, well, I said that out of all moments, they chose this one, the writers, for some reason, that he realized that he liked her instead of...
Like when they were bantering or something.
Yeah, a different moment, yeah.
Or when he was helping her out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a different... It should have been like when they were bantering, because that's cute.
Yeah. Now, in the last scene, Dawson goes to see Pacey at the video store. Dawson tells him he doesn't want him to kiss Joey and to pull his chain. He said he was too late. He said she kissed him back in the back of his truck, and they made out for an hour. And she invited him inside the house, but it was late, so he didn't. And now she's cooking dinner for him for tomorrow night.
And then Dawson's like, you're lying.
Yeah. Yep, so he calls him out and says that he's full of it, with Pacey saying he is too, and that it's time to ask himself who's it going to be. Is it Jen or Joey? Dawson looks like he's on trial, but of course his answer has to wait until the next episode.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you like that it's taking forever for them to like confess that they have feelings?
No. But I've seen another show go on longer so
Really?
far than this.
It's just so annoying. Like everybody around them knows the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So just get it over with.
Right.
And so did you like the episode?
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't really care for the whole carnival chaos with the double
you
date.
didn't? I thought you would have.
No.
Because it involves Jen. And
No.
she seems to be your favorite.
No, not like when it comes to being friends, with Joey, but not with everything that's been going on with Dawson, no. Yeah, so that was the end of the episode. I would say...
Well, you told me that when I asked you if I would like this episode, because I didn't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said, yeah, you'll like the Pacey and Joey. It was like a minute long, like each scene. Then we're back to the carnival. I wanted longer scenes. And yeah, I didn't like the carnival stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Pacey and Joey their day was over.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I just wanted more.
So, what was your high and low then?
The high was the whole Pacey and Joey.
Mm-hmm.
And then the low was the carnival.
Yeah, same for me.
I mean, I'd like to go to the carnival, but...
No, with all that drama.
The whole scene was just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt bad for Mary Beth at first. Because she was being used. All right, and then what would you rate it?
Probably a 7 again, like last time.
I'll give it a 6.
Yeah. And then best and worst character?
So, my best was Joey. Because she was helping Pacey. I mean, she was kind of forced into it. And that was the thing. Why didn't her teacher ask if she wanted to help somebody? Why was it like, you have to help somebody?
I don't know.
Wasn't that weird?
Yeah.
Normally, you get asked if you want to help another student. Because what if you don't like the student?
Mm-hmm.
So that was weird. She didn't even know who it was.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, she did help him.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the best. And she called Dawson out for using Mary Beth.
Yeah.
So good on her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the worst was Dawson. See, I finally get to use him. It's the worst. Because he was using Mary Beth. And I just thought he was just trying too hard with Jen. So, who was your best and worst?
Well, my worst was also Dawson because of him using Mary Beth.
Ooh, yay.
And then my best was Pacey just because even though he did mess up the project, he still, did what he did to at least try to make it right. He somewhat did, at least, even though he made things also worse at the same time by losing the boat. But, that's just how it just seems that's how he is at this point.
That's just Pacey.
So that's what to be expected of him. But, yeah.
Yeah, but see, honestly, though, he brings the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for Pacey, okay, take Pacey out of this whole show.
Mm-hmm.
What would the show be?
It'd be probably really boring.
Yeah, I feel like nobody would watch it.
Right.
Because he has the best lines and he's just funny. So, yeah, all you want to do is just watch him.
Right. Yep. So the next episode is titled The Scare. So that sounds like a thriller.
One I don't want to watch.
Yeah, thriller or maybe Halloween themed episode.
And it's weird because it's not airing in October.
Right. It aired in May.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. And we're talking about in July, which is a little bit closer, but not that much closer.
I know, but when it aired, it was airing in May.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wouldn't they have waited till like October?
I guess they didn't want to. They could have, but maybe
maybe they didn't get picked up. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to wait till the next season in case they didn't get another season, so they just did it in the first season, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You wondered when they got picked up because they were dragging this whole Joey and Dawson for it's going on for so long that you wonder when they got picked up.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of the episode.
All right, you guys, have a great day.
Yep, we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about this episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter at duochatpodcast and give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.